Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, as the case may be for you at this moment in time. I bid you happiness and tide greetings. We're at that place again where some people might say you're in your own head too much. How much is too much to be into your own head? I ponder that here amongst the bubbles. It's a good place to ponder. Lacking of internet resources and the money to pay for such things, what with moving to the new house and such forth, I seem to have been offline a week or so. Last I remember, there was some female impersonator using my name. This also makes me ponder here amongst the bubbles. Yesterday a friend visited for the day. We walked and saw sights, ate hearty sausage rolls, and had general good times while strolling along the waterfront. I told tales of Merlin and great deed, of Scottish history, of hills and mountains and castles and glens, and we saw them all. We are them all. I am. I am. Am I? Am I am I? I am. Ponders amongst the bubbles. As I beckoned my friend farewell on her mighty steed back to the city, we stood waiting 15 minutes or so on said steed arriving. In the process of those moments, I saw from the corner of my eye a lonely, wretched, poor human being, what seemed to be bereft of any means of walking in a straight line, never mind the complexities of crossing such a road as busy as what we were standing on and towards he was coming. He managed to stagger his way across nonetheless, and moved steadily towards a gentleman just standing maybe 5 or 10 yards up the road from us, and I could see him mumble towards the gentleman and the gentleman shaking his head. And then the betrubbled chaos walker took notice of myself and my friend standing there awaiting the steed to take them on their journey back to the city. As he approached, I said with slow, meaningful and cautious words, "Watch your back," to my friend, and they moved to one side. The oncoming stagger had me in his sights, and as he approached, mumbling, maybe cruel of me, I just caught his gaze straight and said, "I'm sorry mate, I've not got any cash. Sorry." It seemed to stop him dead in his tracks, as I'm sure that's what he was mumbling, because that's all I could hear was a drunken mumble and the smell of piss and Mad Dog 2020. "I didn't ask you for money, mate," he said to me. "I apologise. I can't understand you. Can you give me shelter?" "Sorry mate, I can't help you." I offered the advice of the town centre, maybe a church, maybe a bus shelter or a underpass. I told him I understand, but I knew that would be no comfort to him. He seemed to wither in front of me, his knees buckling, his shoulders drooped, and he seemed to sob and shout at the same time, screaming in fact, "Do you know what'll happen to me? If I go down the city centre, I'll have a knife in my back the night. I'll be dead tomorrow morning." Screaming at the top of his voice. My own knees started to buckle, I started to shake. I could feel an anger well up inside me. And my friend caught my eye and steadied myself. "I'm sorry mate, I'm really sorry, but I can't help you." He turned and he took 10 steps to the nearest doorway and sat on the steps outside, and as we waited on our steed, he slowly collapsed, lying draped over the 4 steps up to the grand door of the estate agents. The irony was not lost on me. My friend looked at me and said, "Are you okay?" I was crying, I was shaking, I was staring at the sky for inspiration. Thoughts of a Chinese family on Sauchiehall Street. I could feel the drool run from my mouth and the tears and snot pour from You can't do anything, Davy. And so the steed came. My friend went back to when she came. I returned to my flat and I sat there for an hour, 2, maybe 3. And I thought of going for a moonlit walk along the shore, or maybe watching the sunset coming up if I managed to sit here for that long. Only for a second did that seem like a good idea. And then it became fear. What happened to the man lying draped in the steps of the estate agents? Such grandeur of building. So many empty offices. I couldn't go out. I can't go out there. I can't face him. What if I find him? What if I'm scared? Not scared of him, scared of the reality of the situation. I think, ponder. Not something you want when you move to a new place. Old fears seem to haunt me. After a long night, and an even longer morning, comes the afternoon of the next day. I phone my friend and we chat about what happened. And she understands with everything else and the chaos that's going on in my life at this moment in time. Some things are just too much to deal for. But she reiterates the words, there's nothing you could do, you can't help. And I know you wanted, I know that's you, I know that's who you are. But you need to be able to walk away. Conversation is good. The words are good if they're the right words. If they're the proper words. True words. So I took it about myself to go out and buy a glorious mirror in which I can sit and gaze at my ponderings with light of candle and bubbles. There was no intention for this video, but it is the mirror, it is the bubbles, it is the bath. It is me. And the intention, as always, is to help myself and for the moment only that. I wish I could chill. I dearly, dearly do wish that I could chill. But you have to understand, in these times, in these circumstances, with health and what I can and what I can't do, I just don't find it in myself to be able to chill right here, right now, on the great, the grand, and the what was once glorious tube of you. I wish you well. I send you greetings. I may saunter sometime soon, but for now, a druid ponders in the bath. So, it was this afternoon when I decided to go down the street, go outside, and the chat with my friend obviously had somewhat brightened my spirits. I never went specifically to buy the mirror. I just happened to come across it, and for some reason knew that I had to buy it. Worrying about having to carry it about. I purchased the said mirror and asked if they could hold it in the shop while I went and about my business, and I would pick it up in an hour or so's time. They said that would be fine. I left and headed towards the town centre, not really knowing why I was there. I felt anxiety, too many people about, the virus, thoughts of the guy from last night. I got myself a coffee, a sandwich. I took myself to the shoreline and I pondered. Saw a steam train in the distance. It was nice. Re-energised. I set forth back to the town centre. Picked up a few essentials. And on way back to the shop where I purchased the mirror, walking along the street, I heard a voice. "Here mate, can I tap a fag off you?" I turned round with the usual, "It's my last one mate." Only to be returned with fucking typical, usual. And as I looked up, there was a bedraggled, piss-smelling MD 2020 reeking, quite upright, carrying a bag full of messages, wretch of a man, the same wretch that had lay on the steps the night before, worried that he was going to have a knife in his back, pleading me, asking me for help. He walked away bothering someone else, and then someone after that, and then someone after that, as each in turn turned their back to him. There's a moral somewhere in all of this. Humanity is lost. I do believe. I really wish that someday I might find it. It's all a process.